Every day, we see warning signs that this country is inching closer and closer to, dare I say it, civil war. Violent protests by radical leftists, armed attacks on ICE facilities, police officers heckled and pelted while executing arrests, even elected members of Congress crashing political events, and the media justifies or ignores it. Unless we change course, the result is inevitable. And though civil war is far from guaranteed, we are in a cycle of violent weather that is unmistakable. Earthquakes, hurricanes, and more. Almost every American is at risk in some form. And that's why I prepare with My Patriot Supply. They've revolutionized preparedness with an industry-leading line of food storage, water filtration, and other products that you will need at some point. And right now, you can save 50% on a 2-week emergency food kit. These 2-week food kits include breakfasts, lunches, and dinners, and they last up to 25 years in storage. Don't ignore the writing on the wall. Give yourself peace of mind and save 50% off at my special website, preparewithredpill78.com. That's preparewithredpill78.com. Good evening, everyone. You are listening to Red Pill 78. I am the Corruption Detector, and this is your Red Pill News. Hope everyone is having a lovely evening. We have a very special show for everyone tonight, as always. Joining us in the studio live right now via telecast from an undisclosed location on the East Coast is going to be, quite frankly, oops, looks like I have a double camera right there. Get rid of that. Frank, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing great, man. And first of all, before we do anything, I got to congratulate you for your big reveal. You showed everybody your face now. This is great.
This ugly mug? Not a problem. Yes. Thank you very much, Frank. I appreciate that. And once again, thank you for joining us. It's always a pleasure when you've got you here on the show. Let's just do a couple of quick shout-outs. I see we've got lots of people in the audience already. People from the Missouri Ozarks, Connecticut. Somebody says Pants Off. That's right. That's the title of the show, Pants Off with, quite frankly, Seattle, Orlando. Who else? Australia, Arkansas, Rochester, New York. Yay, Frank. Okay, lots of people. All right, guys. Well, thank you, everyone who is here. If you have not already, please do me a favor, like and share. Check to make sure that YouTube has not unsubscribed you, because as we all know, there is lots of hanky-panky going on with the suppression of people like Frank and I. Yeah.
No, it's never the good kind of hanky-panky. No. When it comes to this stuff, it's never the good stuff. You have to try to wade through it all, but I'm very happy to be back, and I know that Lauren is watching at home. Maybe this is like I don't know, danger zone time. She might be actually falling asleep now, but either way, what are we doing tonight, man? This is so great.
Well, I thought we'd catch up for a little bit. There's lots of stuff in the news to talk about, both good and bad. I'd like to get your perspective on a couple of things. But, tell us for, anybody in the audience who has not been watching your daily live streams, what have you had going on? You've had just an incredible array of top-notch, high-quality guests recently.
Yeah.
Like always.
Oh, it's been great, because you want to know, I think the best thing about the kind of work that I have been able to do for myself is that I'm starting to come across so many amazing, fascinating people that are just littered around the internet that don't necessarily have any kind of a following or anything like that. So because we're just drawing so much conversation to the fore, we're getting people with such amazing stories. But on top of all that, I know you probably saw that Jeffrey Peterson came back again recently. Jay Myers documentaries.
I like Jay.
Yeah, Jay, that channel is so awesome. I love when I get a notification from that channel. He was on recently. Last night was Fleckus Fridays, so Fleckus Talks came back on to do a Friday night spot. Many more, and more coming too. So it's just been a big whirlwind, but a fun one, because if we weren't having fun, man, oh my God, it just sucks you down.
Yeah,
it really does.
You have to be able to have a sense of humor with this stuff. I mean, just by nature of the subjects that we're covering, it's some dark stuff. You know, I mean, people, if you allow it to suck you down, it's demoralizing. You know, I mean, people can lose hope. They can lose faith very easily. You know, I think that most of our guests, most of our viewers appreciate the fact that, you know, we have to inject a certain amount of brevity, certain amount of humor into this stuff. Otherwise, we're going to go insane. But, you know, I mean, I do get the occasional email from people, you know, excoriating me for having fun on the air. But, you know, I mean, like, I have to, okay? If I didn't laugh, you know, I wouldn't get out of bed, you know?
And, you know, and this is the reason why it's important for especially people like you to have fun every once in a while and try to find a silver lining somewhere. All right. And it's this. I went to go visit my grandmother today. I try to see her at least for an hour every Saturday. So I go out there and she's there with her aide and whatnot. And I'm sitting there talking with her aide. And I love talking with all of her with all of her live-in aides because most of them are from Africa. So I love talking about life back in Ghana or wherever the hell else. And we just talk about the world a little bit more. But they also pay close attention to things going on here in the U.S. And today, my favorite of her caretakers, Gifty, she asked me, she said, Frank, what exactly happened with Jeffrey Epstein? You know, what happened? And I said, Gifty, I said, because prior to this, her asking me this, I asked her, I said, you know, have you ever talked to anybody about conspiracy theories back where you live, like, you know, powerful elite taking advantage of small, you know, everyday people and all that stuff, mystical stuff, especially with some of I love when I get to talk to some of my grandmother's aides who are from the Caribbean, because then you can talk to some of them about voodoo. All right.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Especially the Haitians. Very, very big over there, too. And she said, no, I don't pay attention to conspiracy theories. Then she asked me what I think happens with Jeffrey Epstein. I said, Gifted.
Well, it's just the name of the game. Corruption, you know, powerful people killing you because you're going to testify. I mean, that's just how they do it in Africa.
Yeah. I said, Gifty, I don't know. If you're not interested in conspiracy theories, I don't think you're going to like what I have to say about Jeffrey Epstein because this goes deep.
Yeah. And
man, that's just what it is right now. So it's fun stuff if you find a place to chuckle about it, because everybody's under it. And the reason why I bring that up is that the perspective that someone like Gifty has, as opposed to the work that you, Mr. Red Pill 78, finds himself up to his neck in every day. She has room in her life, leeway in her life to find enjoyment in very, very frivolous things from time to time and be able to actually give herself over to that. It's very hard to do that once you start really digging into the waste, you know, like we do.
Yeah. I certainly can back you up on that one. You know, I mean, like I every day I have certain little things that I do, like I force myself to unplug from the internet. I'll turn off all the notifications on like my phone and my tablet and my computer. I won't watch anything. I try to read on a daily basis. I'll just hang out with the dogs. We go for multiple walks. You know, I mean, like getting outside and getting away from all of the electromagnetic radiation that we're getting bombarded with. That's a big thing for me. You know, I like to ride my bike too. So, I mean, if it wasn't for those things, then, yeah, I would be going totally insane. Real quick, Frank, I just got to give a couple of quick thank yous. Jeff Stewart says, hi, Red, hope you had a happy birthday. I did have a happy birthday. Yep, yesterday was great. And then he says, hello to some of the best people on Earth. And then, oh, yeah, Code Red Do Girl, good to see you. She says, you rock, Red Pill. Ian McCullough, thank you for that super chat. Josh from Detroit, two great voices and faces. Glad to be here to see this. Is Josh from Detroit a big Quite Frankly fan?
I know Josh.
Excellent. Yeah, Detroit. Detroit is one of those cities that was destroyed by the rule of tyrannical democratic leadership, and now it's kind of on a rebound. You know, I mean, although there is, you know, a vast wasteland of empty and broken houses, Detroit has come a long way. Certainly from when I was a child. It wasn't someplace I would want to go back then, but now I would definitely go there cautiously.
Yeah, and the Tigers always sucked too. So
they were never good.
There's
Kirk Gibson though. Kirk Gibson.
Absolutely. Absolutely. He left himself a little bit of a legacy there. But yeah, the when I think about Detroit and I think about cities like that, I also just think about not only just local leadership, but going back to what you can read up on in the 1960s, the Great Society, all those big ideas with LBJ and of course the sexual revolution and a lot of things that were going on culturally, and you start seeing the rise in illegitimacy rates in across the board, no matter who the race is, doesn't matter what the hell's going on there. But and you just start seeing these once proud industrial cities start getting sapped of all of the character it had. And its character is not, I think everybody should be able to grasp this. Character is not directly related with GDP. Character is not directly related with profit margins. It's about what kind of people are making up a society. That's why it's great when economic opportunities present themselves for people, when you get off their backs and you start creating more opportunities for businesses to grow and to create more employment and all that. But it's also about who are your neighbors. I read something recently, like maybe 30% of Americans know who their neighbors are and have a good relationship with them.
Yeah.
And that's really what it comes on down to. And how can you build up neighbors when people are getting chased out of town? They're getting it's a lot of that stuff going on there, man. And I hope that we have a cultural revitalization soon too.
It's interesting that you bring that up. My second guest for tonight, I'm just going to plug her in this segment right here. Liberals Lied to Me. This is a boat.
Yeah, there you go.
Liberals Lied to Me by Joanna Chestnut. She writes about many of the things that you just happened to mention. The sexual revolution was billed as, something good for America, but I can't help but think about something known as the Jaffe Memo when you bring that up. Are you familiar with the Jaffe Memo?
No, I'm not.
Well, this was a memo from Frederick Jaffe. He was the former Planned Parenthood vice president. It's from 1969. Frank, I will go ahead. Let me drop this over to you because I think this is an excellent thing for us to discuss. I'm going to throw it in the chat right here. So you can pull this up. You'll be able to find an actual copy of that Jaffe memo.
Okay,
and then there's an article talking about it from Live Action. So it lists examples of proposed measures to reduce U.S. fertility, it eventually with the goal of the destruction of the American family. But some of the things they're talking about here on the first table 1, examples of proposed measures to reduce U.S. fertility by universality or selectively of impact. So social constraints, restructure the family. A, postpone or avoid marriage. B, alter the image of the ideal family size. Compulsory education for children. Encourage increased HOMO sexuality. Educate for family litigation. Fertility control agents in the water supply. Encourage women to work. And it goes on and on, Frank. This right here is the blueprint for the world that we find ourselves living in today.
You have to also check this out. I don't know if you ever heard of this book, but it's a famous book. It was published in 1958. It's called The Naked Communist. I did that. I covered that on what was it? It might have been Wednesday or I think it was Thursday night show.
Yeah.
I did a little bit on Jim Comey, Dave Chappelle, and The Naked Communist. And I brought this up. Skousen is the guy's name that wrote it. He was a former FBI special agent, and it was compiled. Inside of it is compiled a bulleted list of 45 points, stated goals of the communist insurgency here in the United States, and most of that is in there. Most of it's in there. Yeah. And if not all of it, it goes beyond and on. Right down to discrediting the founding fathers and all that stuff. You got to check it out there too, because most of this can be found in not only ex-communist writings, but also their published goals in just the Communist Party USA, which if you go to cpusa.org and you go to their mission, it pretty much it's the Democrat Party. I actually give the commies a great deal of credit for being honest. Democrats are just I don't know, this is an oxymoron in itself. Dishonest commies. That's what they are. They just don't even tell anybody what they're about anymore.
That's the truth.
Yeah. So this is all very, very easy and should be very obvious for people, because what was discredited back then as Red Scare nonsense and was McCarthyism for decades to come. I mean, it's all been accomplished. It's true. It's just all there.
Joe McCarthy was a man ahead of his time, and he accurately predicted exactly what they were doing with the infiltration of the American government. It's also another thing I wanted to bring up, because I was actually just listening to your podcast, Frank and Beans, with Tracy Beans, where you were talking about this. So I don't know if you talked about it on multiple shows, but someone recently sent me a link to this book. And, after I'm getting this glowing review and I heard you talk about it on your show, I'm definitely going to pick myself up a copy.
I downloaded it on Kindle for $9.99.
Yep, I see that right here. That it's available. So that was another thing I wanted to ask you about, because if people are only familiar with you on YouTube, I mean, there is like multiple ways that people can consume your content. You've got the podcast with Tracy. You guys now, do you just like have that on iTunes, or is it available like through other podcast apps, or is it on radio?
Well, Tracy and I, we do the Dark to Light podcast,
right.
And that was once a week for a while, and then after a year, people wanted more, so we're settled in for Monday, Wednesday, Friday mornings, and that gets released at 2 p.m. on those specific days on iTunes and radioinfluence.com. But my show is the nighttime show. That's every night, Monday through Friday at 7 p.m. So I do a lot, especially on Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. It's a lot of talking.
It is.
And I had to find new ways of compiling ideas for shows so that as the week goes on, the workflow can get a little bit more efficient. So it's been very rewarding work, though. I like the broadcast medium, and that's really all I really ever cared about was talk radio. And the subject matter just started coming to me more and more. And then I just went all in with the social commentary and the history and the hidden history. Because no matter who you are and what you do, if you're watching right now and you're a CPA, or you work for the town and you work the jackhammer all day, it does not matter. Everybody has a joint goal of making sure that we live in a place that is free. I mean, that we are actually able to restore what our charter as a country was, so that decision making is localized as much as possible. Markets are free and flexible as much as we can get them to be, and that speech and expression is at least protected to the absolute degree. So that's why I think that ultimately this is everybody's fight, and I think that's why this has become such comfortable, rewarding work.
Well, I have to agree. It's rare when you're able to devote this much time to something that you love, make a career out of it, and also have a positive impact on people's lives. And, I know for me, that's why I enjoy it so much myself, because this is, nothing short of, spiritual warfare. We're fighting for the restoration of our country. People have had their minds twisted over the last several decades, and it's been just an amazing experience to watch people begin to kind of, slough off that outer shell that they've been forced to, settle under for the last couple of years. We were in this culture during the last administration where it was almost scary for people to speak their minds and to share how they really felt about things. The SJW warriors had done a really good job of compartmentalizing people and giving them the approved script, whatever it was that they could talk about, whatever they couldn't talk about. And that's one of the reasons I love President Trump so much, is because the fact that he's so outspoken and so honest, it has really reinvigorated people, and I think kind of awoken them in a way that they didn't have before.
Now, it's true, and you want to know something that brings something else up. You're talking about people who are, for the most part, don't understand what kind of influence they're falling under. Over the last 2 weeks, amazing disclosures coming out of whistleblowers from Google, people like Dr. Robert Epstein that have really broken down his very unbiased research, especially coming down to the fact that he's a lifelong Clinton supporter and a Democrat. And you start really looking into how much influence, how much people have been influenced without them even knowing it, just by being a casual user of the internet, by using Google as a worldwide service, which 60% of all the information that runs through the internet runs through Google at this point.
Right.
And to think that the search engine manipulation effect schemes and these the mechanics of it all can send 3 to 10 million people to a voting booth, armed with the conviction that they believe is their own as to why they're voting, but it has been completely manipulated in very subtle ways just by using the internet casually. And going back to Mr. Skousen and the Naked Communist, here's a very short blurb from around page 407 in that book. I brought it up on Thursday night. He says this: if the student, talking about the reader, if the student will read the reports of congressional hearings together with the available books by ex-communists, he will find all of these communist objectives described in detail. Furthermore, he will come to understand how many well-meaning citizens have become involved in pushing forward the communist program without realizing it. They became converted to communist objectives because they accepted superficial communist slogans. Soon they were thinking precisely the way the communists wanted them to think. So I went on to say that pretty much Russia was the first Google. The Soviet Russia was the first Google.
Yeah, I can see that.
And we're living with it because this is where the sexual revolution came from, and everything else that went along with it.
How ironic is it that communism as a philosophy has essentially been wiped out of Russia, and now here it is. We are the Soviet Union 2.0, almost completely gone. Been swallowed up by this disgusting politics that we've got going on.
There should be one last thing to say on that, though, Mr. Red Pill, and that is communism. I always like putting it out there. Communism, feminism, all of this, they are tools.
Yeah.
Tools as you would use to go into your backyard in the middle of September and October and rake up all those leaves. They are tools of people who do not intend in sharing what the outcome of those objectives really are. Yeah. Communism is for the people, not the communist, as we all know. Yes. Socialism is for the people, not the socialists who live lavish lifestyles in poor countries out there. It's a big reason why we got to end foreign aid. Yeah. So, I mean, this is the kind of stuff we need to realize, because it's not exactly like we're fighting against communism. The communist fight is for the idiots in Antifa who really think that when the Great Revolution comes, they're going to be made into generals, right? Or something like that, and given special privileges, when the guillotine is going to be thirsty for them too. Yes. This is all about people who are not fighting on the ground with us that are going to be benefiting from it.
Most definitely. Just another couple of quick thank yous. Let's see. First of all, God's Guy. Hang on, I lost my mouse here. Where are we? I got too many monitors, guys. Okay, he says, God's Guy, if God didn't have a sense of humor, he wouldn't have made Democrats. Well, okay, thank you, guys. Appreciate that super chat. Georgia Peach, always enjoy your show and guest, Red Pill. Thank you. Thank you so much, Georgia Peach. You guys, and I'd also like to specifically ask that prayers go out to Georgia Peach. She has been a longtime viewer of the show here since the beginning, and I just know that she's had a rough go of it the last couple of months. So hearts and minds out there with you, Georgia Peach. Ben Schwagel says, two of my favorites together. Good to see you, Ben Schwagel. Thank you for that super chat. Michael Bachensky. God bless yours and Frank's work. RP78's mom did a fine job giving you a face for more than radio. Thank you very much for that. I am honored to see young folks waking up. That's right. Thank you for that super chat. Oh, and that was 1776. I love it when people do like that. Margaret Corbin said, hey, Red Pill, glad to see your face. Love your show. Keep up the great work. Thank you so much for that, Margaret. Social Observer says, you guys are doing God's work. Thank you. I couldn't agree more. Sherry Coffee, thank you for that super chat. EO2 Dave, thank you both for making content. TV is useless. Yeah, if anybody's still subscribing to cable at this point, you guys, you're not doing yourself any favors. Cut that cord, pull it out of the wall. You don't need cable. You got YouTube, you got Quite Frankly, and Red Pill 78. We'll take care of you. Kitty2 Kitty, meow, great show. Hi, Frank. Thank you for that. Lisa Zatowski, love what you do, Red Pill, where we go one, we go all. And thank you very much for that, Lisa. And Eminem, God bless you, Red Pill 78 from Australia. Thank you very much, Eminem. I'm glad to see that you are here with us tonight. What time is it down in Australia? Aren't they like 11 or 12 hours ahead of us?
Well,
It's the
usually
morning.
when if I go live at 7, and I think somebody has told me before that it's usually around 10 or 11 a.m. the next day.
I think that's what it is. It's either 12 or I think it's 13 hours. I think it might be 13 hours. Either way, I'm glad you guys are here. Appreciate it. So, Frank, we had some stuff happen this week. Many things happened this week.
Oh, no.
And specifically, actually, I wanted to go over this thread from 40 Head in relation to our favorite Anon. Let me send this over to you so you can follow along with. Let's see. There we are in the chat for you. All right, so you guys, I am going to go over to that thread, and we'll take a look here. Now, I am following 40 Head, but I'm logged out of Twitter over here, so that's why it says I'm not. But he said, what if Q set a special marker, something hidden in plain sight that would tell us what to share with others? I've been advised of a little marker on 15 Q drops that I never would have seen on my own. What does PB mean to you? I believe this is a meaningful message. Now, this was interesting to me because I had never noticed this PB marker. I mean, looking back, I remember thinking at the time, what's that PB about? But real quick, I'm actually going to throw up a copy of our video on the screen here at the same time. Let me see that. That way, we've got us on the same page. Yes, that will be it. Sorry for this, guys. I thought that I had done this before the show started. There we go. All right, so, and if anybody else has seen this PB marker and you want to talk about it, please, we're going to discuss it in just a moment. There we go. All right, there we are. Okay, so after being compromised a couple times and having serious attacks on my devices, I usually don't click on DMs from people I don't follow. But someone sent me one tonight that was incredible. Unfortunately, I deleted the message, so I can't give credit where credit's due. I was told certain drops contain a marker, PB, and I find out there's a possible set of instructions that, if followed in whole, basically summarizes the entire QAnon big picture. Maybe it's a message for those new to the movement. Perhaps PB stands for playback. In order, the PB mark drops start with instructions to show samples of Q proofs, our evidence. Most proofs can be found at qmat.pub/proofs. Next is a reminder that QAnon is a family with support, concern, and love for one another. It is not about hate and violence. So here is the example of that. Showing start from the beginning, small sampling of proofs, patriots in control, you are the news now. And then thoughts and prayers. May you be comforted by the outpouring of love surrounding you. All right, so next. The next drop explains that Russian collusion charges against POTUS was an insurance plan meant to discredit and impeach Trump. The end of that charade would prove no collusion occurred between Trump and Russia despite 2 years of lies from Democrat leaders and the fake news. And so there that is right there. Now, the next drop is awesome and very important to understand. Real Donald Trump is Q+, as we've always maintained. Using an iPhone, the 0 key is also a plus symbol. So Q0 equals Q+. Do you remember that when Air Force One changed their call sign to Q+?
I remember something about that.
Yeah.
I'm not the guy to really go to recall things like this or do decodes. I'm a very casual observer of everything. But I do remember something about call signs at one point.
Well, essentially, Air Force One changed its call sign to Q0. And the idea that President Trump is Q+, is just something that I felt from the beginning. Because I figured when this all started out, the information that was being presented, it must actually be from either the president or someone on the president's team. And then when Q+ started posting, it's obvious that those particular drops they're special. They're signed a different way. And the language that's used in them, it sounds like it's President Trump speaking. And I believe that before it was Q+, they started with 41020, which would be DJT in the numeric alphabet.
So where is this all heading?
Oh, well, it's all. I haven't gotten there yet.
Oh, okay.
The next drop shows that POTUS and Q are coordinating Q drops on 8chan and POTUS tweets on Twitter, either just seconds apart or even at the same time. It proves that Q and POTUS are synced with each other. So many of these instances prove it's not just a coincidence. So that's the where that's going. So the PB, these drops with PB, if you take them each as 40 Head has done, then it shows you how to interpret this data and exactly what's going on. So, this messages from Q are from the president and his team. We are a family. We're not violent. And this would be an excellent way to kind of bring somebody into the fold, How are we going to explain Q? Well, you can take each of these drops with the PB on them, and then they can see. And so, obviously, this is another proof for the fact that Q and Trump are the same person. You've got the drops happening at essentially the same time as the tweets come out. It happens quite often if you weren't aware of that. But, and I mean, and you know what a proof is, right? I'm taking it for granted that okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yes, I know. I've picked up a lot of the lingo here.
Okay. So the next drop says the deep state threw the first punch. In doing so, they initiated the war we're now in. We're also reminded they are very intelligent and experienced Anons on our side, and the discovery is made that Q and POTUS are using the most advanced tools possible. So just telling that there is a war, we're going for it. The next drops are the dark truth. The enemy set up deliberate attacks on soft targets to draw news headlines, massacres designed to instigate attacks on the right with claims of alignment to Trump and white supremacists, all meant to discredit and scare the population. The deep state took innocent life, planned attacks, and coordinated across the world to spread hate and fear. This is a very real war. In a comforting and unifying message, Q delivers a drop proving that POTUS, the U.S. military, and QAnon are all working together to fight evil. So right there, this is, I believe, a tweet from Civ Mill Air, U.S. Air Force C5 Galaxy Q, and then U.S. Army UC-35A Anon. So this is another thing that happens quite often, or it has happened on several occasions. Military planes will change their call sign, not just Air Force One, but they'll say, Q, or they'll say Anon, just another thing for us to look at. And then right here is the post. I have the support of the police, the support of the military, the support of bikers for Trump. I have the tough people, but they don't play it tough until they go to a certain point, and then it would be very bad, he told Breitbart on Tuesday. So that is in reference to coordinated attacks, which is the thing that we're going to lead into right after this. Don't let me forget that. The next drops tell the dark and terrible truth of what we're up against. RC, this is a woman who has been featured in the posts on several occasions, is allegedly, got to say allegedly, a key person in the human and trafficking business. She's been photographed leaders, celebrities, royals, and more. She has ties to Jeffrey, the recently deceased billionaire financier, NXIVM, and more. And the reason I have to be very careful there is because this is the only person who's ever given me a community guideline strike.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I'll go into that after this.
Wow.
The most
I gotta watch. I don't watch what I say at all when I'm on the air. I gotta watch out.
I normally don't, but this one made it very obvious that I couldn't talk about her. The most vile of people has employed RC. The insurance plan caused the deliberate stall to prosecuting those involved because they all supported Mueller's team. Going after them would look like retaliation or obstruction. And this is an excellent point to make in reference to the IG report on Comey that we're going to talk about. But POTUS and Q are still in control. More deep state lies were exposed. Democrats told us the wall was racist and a waste of money. Democrats push for open borders and openly support the criminal action of entering our country illegally. But POTUS and Anons know the wall is so much more. It stops trafficking. That is one of the most important things. Drugs and the trafficking of humans. We're told that Julian Assange of WikiLeaks holds the secrets to the DNC staffer Seth Rich's murder and the leaks that came from the DNC. There was a strong push by Democrats to kill Julian, and including claims that Hillary Clinton actually proposed using a drone strike to kill him. Now, finally, the last PBQ drop shows that that the hunt is on for those behind the crimes that have affected the entire world. The tables have turned, and the declass or declassification of numerous batches of reports and evidence will reveal the guilty in undeniable fashion. So the last one, post 3537 from the 30th of July, just a month ago. Targets may be closer than they appear. Hunters become the hunted. And this is when he started filling in the placeholder posts on Patriots Fight, his personal board, or Q's, the Q team's personal board on 8chan. And then, of course, we know that not too long after that, the entire site disappeared because they don't want this stuff revealed. The D-Class has begun. Newcomers to Q will see results of nearly 2 years of efforts by Patriots, POTUS, and Q. The illegal FISA warrants used by Obama, Hillary, the DNC, and the corrupt segments of the FBI are all part of that D-Class. The hunt is on. And then he says that is the last of the PB drops. So, PB equals previous bread. I believe Q is telling new people these 15 drops were planned and dropped over several months just for them. I saw that Methods actually did put PB in there. So maybe this is, a way for people to easily, get a roadmap of these posts, the ideas that are buried within them. Maybe it is, something else. I don't know. But I just thought it was a compelling idea. Now, in speaking about the targeted attacks, okay? I know that when we were speaking earlier, I let you know that there was 3 tragic incidents that have taken place in less than 24 hours. Last night, there was a mass casualty event at a high school football game. And then today in Texas, there were 2 events in Midland and Odessa, Texas. And did you happen to see President Trump speaking at the White House the other day with the establishment of the U.S. Space Command?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I already told everybody that regardless of what you think is this Space Command is all about, I will be buying a shirt.
Oh yeah, I'm right there. Yeah, I want to join I want to join Space Force. I will go to Mars or wherever in a heartbeat. Would you be willing to go out into space for your country, Frank?
I couldn't leave Lauren for that long. That would be. I'm lucky I got an hour right now. It's a Saturday night, but we planned this ahead of time. Lauren, I'm going to Mars. How long is that? What is that? An 8-month trek?
Well, the only reason that I'm saying I would go is because I'm assuming they have interstellar faster than light travel. Did you? I don't know if you saw this, but several months ago, I did a show on the Navy's releasing blueprints for what was it looked like a TR-3B. Have you ever heard of the TR-3B? It's that delta-shaped UFO craft.
Yes.
Yes. So let's see. Somebody says that I need more mods. Well, I got plenty of mods. I don't know you guys, if there is people out there who are saying things that need to be corrected, I guess please help out. I'm not watching the chat while I'm talking to Frank about this. So President Trump is talking about the Space Force. Just before the establishment of the Space Force, we have what is the plans for this interstellar craft released. It has a gravity time-space warp drive on it. It can fold space-time and travel through the slipstream of the creation of that.
It can actually get through the firmament.
Yes, you can get.
You can actually get through the firmament.
So it folds space-time around it, and it can move through space without any type of drag. There's no friction or anything like that, because it's creating like a wormhole or a warp drive, and it just shoots off. So we could get from here to Mars in a matter of minutes, hours, days. So it's a not your typical propulsion type craft using fuel or anything like that. How about Bob Lazar? You ever heard of Bob Lazar?
Yes. It's because of him that we know all about S4.
Exactly. I met Bob Lazar one time. It was pretty cool. We talked about this stuff and more. But he worked on that stuff, okay? He actually saw that stuff. He was an engineer at S4. If people don't know who Bob Lazar is, you guys look him up. Probably the most credible government whistleblower in terms of this type of information. He was an engineer working on the reverse engineering of a craft which was not ours. It was from some other place. I don't know exactly who, so I'm not going to claim, that I do know what it is, but I am going to say it's not American. It's not even terrestrial. So I think, just in the research that I've done, I think that this TR-3B craft probably uses the exact same type of technology that Lazar was trying to reverse engineer and bring into use for the United States. But I wanted to play a little clip from President Trump when he was introducing the Space Force. So let's go ahead and take a listen to that. Frank, you should be able to hear this, but, just let me know if you can.
All right.
Very much. It's a great honor on a beautiful day in the Rose Garden. Please sit. Thank you.
If you're playing it, I can't hear
To ensure
it.
that
Okay. All right. Well,
all resources of the federal government are focused on the arriving storm, I have decided to send our Vice President Mike Pence to Poland this weekend in my place. It's something very important for me to be here. The storm looks like it could be a very, very big one indeed.
did you hear that?
No, I did not.
Shucks. Okay. All right. So President Trump says that he's canceled a trip to Poland in preparation for the arriving storm.
Yep, I remember that.
Okay, yep. And he says, this storm could be a very, very big one. One of the earliest drops said, look for this, ladies and gentlemen, the storm has arrived. A tweet from the president saying that. So, I think a lot of people in the community saw this and they thought, perhaps this is the president mentioning the arrival of the storm. Well, right after that, we have the Comey IG drop. Okay, now we've got people talking about the implications of that, and then on Friday night we have that tragic event at a high school football game, right here. This is in Mobile, Alabama. At least 10 were injured. All right, and then today we have 2 more taking place in Midland and Odessa. Now, it's got all the hallmarks of many of these other mass casualty events. The stories are different. Right now they're saying that there were 2 different things. I've heard reports of events taking place in 3 different areas. But I think that we're probably going to end up with another story where the official narrative just hasn't been written yet. And then, I'm looking for the reporting on this to completely change within the next 24 to 48 hours. Because with the previous event, what was that, El Paso with the Walmart? Yeah. So in the initial aftermath, in the minutes after that took place, we had there was, I believe, 2 or 3 different Walmarts in that area where there was reported activity taking place. Also that mall. Much of the footage that was released that people had taken, for Snapchat with their cell phones, that was all in the mall. That wasn't in the Walmart. But then later on, the reporting changed. Well, no, it was only at that one Walmart in El Paso, even though somebody had actually sent me a still from a video of a couple of guys with some long barrels standing outside of that mall. They were wearing civilian clothes, and they were preparing to enter. They weren't police. It was just a couple of guys. Now, to add to that, a woman who lives in the area, her daughter runs one of those mall carts in the middle of that mall. She testified to me. She told me that there were actual shooters in the mall, even though it was reported afterwards that there was only the one guy in the Walmart. And again, the people at the Walmart, there was another woman and her children who were there, and they saw guys dressed in all black, looking like SWAT gear, coming through, and it wasn't that kid.
Yeah, I saw a lot of those those early reports. And I think mostly because people show up. I would have to imagine that especially reporters who are on the beat out there in local areas are going to show up and they actually want to do their job.
Yeah.
And they talk to people and they ask them the most obvious questions. And the initial testimonies that come out are usually the most honest. And they go out there and then you never hear about it again. There were things, there's plenty of events that we heard things first reported that were never touched on again. And then, you know, it's you got to speak in glyphs to be able to talk about what those events were these days. But either way, you know, I think the other thing about this all is, and I know you've kind of been stacking these stories in a way where it's we're analyzing the timing of it all to see this first storm of hurricane season coming our way, the canceled trip to Poland, the arrival of Space Force, the storm is coming. We're going to put this off, and then of course we start having a weekend full of shootings again.
Yep.
And this is off of we're running off of that other weekend of shootings, maybe about 3 or 4 or 5 weeks ago, whatever it was, and that opened the door to some really interesting conversation. Well, scary, especially when it comes to red flag laws, because now you're talking about, at the very least, yeah, there's an opportunity to build up narrative and to build up momentum in the news, because when there's loss of life in the news, for you to concentrate on any of the really damning things that came out of the IG report about Comey or anything else, it starts looking very petty and very political and very pointed. But on top of that, just also remember with the red flag stuff and these shootings, at the very base level of it all, when you're talking about the political fodder it creates, you're weaponizing psychiatry in many ways. And they already been doing this by trying to get the president kicked out of the White House by invoking the 25th Amendment. You can get any crank out there with a PhD to get in front of a camera and diagnose somebody as crazy from 2,000 miles away. They want to put all these laws in the books that all you have to do is point a finger and have somebody with a diploma to say, yes, this man is crazy. He should not have a firearm. He should not be on he should be on a no-fly list. He should be on a no-buy list. It's there's a lot of things happening with this, so it's dual purpose. It's like every satellite that everybody says has ever been in space, it all has dual purpose, and sometimes 4 or 5 purposes. So I can see where you're going with that.
It's a slippery slope, you know. I mean, when they start allowing people to be categorized and say that this person because they have some diagnosis. I mean, first of all, that information it's a subjective diagnosis. I mean, are they going to have more than one opinion, or is there one psychiatrist who's going to be the arbiter and the decision maker for the entire government to say that this person can have a protection, this person cannot, and where is the line drawn? I mean, like, what are they going to make it so that you have to be diagnosed with? I didn't you do some reporting on this recently, talking about Dan Crenshaw and his position?
No, you know who, well, yeah, it was featured on the show, but you should go check it out. It's on my channel. It's in highlights and guest spots playlist if you want to jump to it. It was from, this was August that we're wrapping up. It was from earlier on in August, probably the first week in August. Chris Ann Hall was on the show. Chris Ann Hall is a constitutional attorney, a historian, and an educator. She's fantastic, and she came on with me right around the time that we were talking about red flag laws, and she went deep into red flag, and not only red flag, but TAPS, the TAPS Act.
What is the TAPS Act?
This is where we're talking about more surveillance and all. You got to check it all out, because she does bring up Crenshaw. I believe that Crenshaw stands by the TAPS Act as well. What is the acronym again? TAPS Act.
There it is, TAPS Act and Reg Flag. Okay, I'm just pulling this up in the background.
Federal Threat Assessment, Prevention, and Safety. So we're talking about pre-crime. We're talking about thought crime. We're talking about all that stuff that comes in here, because you're creating authority that needs to be delegated to somebody to say what is dangerous and what needs to be immediately stripped of their constitutional rights. their human rights. If you ask me, defending yourself, your property, and your family is a human right.
Definitely.
And to do all this based on, that's it, TAPS Act and red flag laws with Chris Ann Hall. She really just took that whole thing away, and you got to listen to her because she's great. And she's coming back on the show again on September 9th. She's always a fantastic guest. So there's that.
Well, I'll definitely check it out. I just dropped the link into the chat so everybody else can check that out too. Yeah, definitely. I think that it's a very important subject, and it is more than just a constitutional right. If we don't have the ability to defend ourselves and defend our families, we're essentially signing over, any type of sovereignty that we have. We have got to be able to defend who we are, our homes, to ensure that our families have the ability to carry on when we're gone, and to make sure that, we have a future. But, one of the reasons that the United States has been so successful as a country is because people don't want to invade our homeland because so many of us are armed. You don't go in and invade a country where, a vast majority of the population has the ability to defend themselves, Yeah,
no, absolutely. Absolutely. And when you think about all the things, all of the hurdles that have been put in the way of American citizens, and then, you had texted me earlier on today with some ideas you wanted to talk about, and you brought up Kate Steinle.
That's right.
And you think about all the impediments put in the way of American citizens when it comes to things like the Second Amendment, even though that is really a state issue. If a state wants to regulate the Second Amendment, wants to regulate gun accessibility, that's up to the states. The Second Amendment for our Constitution just pretty much says the federal government has no means and no power in the area, but then they kind of just they kind of ignored that too. But with Steinle, since you had brought it up earlier in the day, California is essentially a state that has in recent years legalized knowingly infecting somebody with AIDS.
Oh gosh.
And now with this overturning of the conviction or whatever, what exactly happened with the Steinle thing?
The conviction of the illegal that murdered her was overturned. So now he's free to get out of jail, and I'm sure they're going to deport him. He's probably going to sneak in again, as he has in the past. But her family is now robbed of any closure that they had before. He was found nothing. He's guilty of nothing. Not involuntary manslaughter, not manslaughter, not first or second degree murder. It was let's see. So it was overturned on Friday. He was in the U.S. illegally. He had been deported to his native Mexico 5 times. He was acquitted in November 2017 of first and second degree murder, involuntary manslaughter, and assault with a semi-automatic weapon. He was convicted of 1 count of being a felon in possession of a firearm. A woman lost her life. This guy was here illegally. And that
didn't he shoot her with a federal agent's stolen weapon?
That sounds familiar, but
wasn't it the gun of a federal agent? I don't even know how he got it, but that's what I. So pretty much in California, you can get more prison time for killing a sea lion than you can if you were an illegal alien who killed a United States citizen with a federal agent's stolen weapon.
It's just incredible. She was walking on the San Francisco pier with her father, and she was shot dead. California is just absolutely insane, okay? Someone was shot with a handgun. She was killed. How do you do that in California? I would imagine that as a citizen, you probably can't do that. But as an illegal, you're there. It's a sanctuary. You can just walk up and just take a woman's life with impunity. Her poor father. Think about if you were walking with someone that you loved and that just happened to you. I'm sickened by it. I cannot believe the state of California right now. And it's too bad that, something more can't be done about it. California's a lost cause at this point, as far as I'm concerned,
Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
Yeah,
well, it's too bad we're running out of time.
I know. I was just going to say that. Do you want to save this Epstein dig and do it on your show?
I guess so, but it would have been fun to do it with you.
Well, no, I'm saying I can come on your show and we'll do it there.
Well, if you want, I mean, yeah,
Here,
you know,
well, I'll tell you what.
We'll see what happens.
If we go over, it will go long. We'll go long. Let me.
Because you have another guest.
Oh, we've only got 7 minutes. Okay, that's right.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
right.
No, I don't want to. I'm not going to step on your guest's toes.
Right. I'm sorry, I got carried away. Having such a good time talking.
Oh yeah. I always had a good time.
Yeah, definitely. Always. Well, let's talk about the IG report then. We can close with
fine.
that. Let's close with that. Okay, so what's your feelings on this? You know, because a lot of people are very, very upset. You know, when it was released the other day, I had so many people sending me messages, comments on my videos like, you know, Red Pill is canceled. You know, we're over. This is it. America's lost. If Comey doesn't get indicted, then, you know, the entire cause, the last several years has just been a complete waste of time. I don't feel that way.
Yeah, no, I don't feel that way either. And that's because from the beginning, it was written all over it why this was the case. First of all, that this was a cutaway from something far greater. I mean, we're not talking about FISA, and with FISA, ladies and gentlemen, comes perjury. I mean, I don't know if there's going to be any perjury charge recommendations in there, but certainly perjured himself. You just think about that there too. But with this, I understand what the gameplay could be, and to kind of chip it off the block and to feign impartiality, and that's exactly what you got going on here. But what do you even get from the IG report? We got confirmation and much what we already knew, and I understand without a formal charges being lodged there, now you have everybody on either side of the aisle, whatever the hell they're looking for, everybody's declaring victory right now. That's the most frustrating thing. But we have Comey's lies. I mean, he abused power in his position to further gains, an agenda for I mean, you can say it's party motivated, but it's more so bureaucratically motivated there too. He violated FBI standards and policies. All those things were there. And as far as the leaking goes, they were very strategic on his end because he knew exactly what he was giving out, and in the manner that he was disseminating it, that he would have been able to give even a mediocre defense team a way to wiggle out of it. So he had been insulating himself the whole way around, knowing that if there was a chance that he can get bitten in the ass by this, that was what going on. And then not only that, we already know now, and we know it even more. The guy went in there with the intent to launch an investigation, a special counsel to tie up a president in all this nonsense. He knew he was going to go in there to take a bite out of the first term of Donald Trump, and he did it knowingly. That was his intention. And he probably didn't use classified information to do it, or else they would have had that on leaking classified information. But the route he chose was very, very conniving, and the whole way Robert Mueller knew he was going to be called in, and that's that. So we got everything. We got a lot of validation. If you've been paying attention to it, people on the other side are going to have a lot of validation to deflect away from it because there was no charges. If there was no charges, it couldn't have been that bad, right? Red Pill.
Right.
So it's kind of like purgatory right now, but I understand what is developing and what is still on the table too. So.
Right. You know, and I like to remind people that this IG report is only in reference to the creation and the leaking of these memos. You know, FISA, the perjury, signing and attesting that everything had been, verified as accurate. That is a wholly separate issue. Now, I think that President Trump made the statement that, Bill Barr has shown that he is a very fair person, I guess, in choosing not to go after James Comey. James Comey got lucky. It's only in relation to this. Barr is going to go after Comey, his co-conspirators, for the coup, for the treason, for the act of creating this, massive blockade that they've used to try and stonewall President Trump during his first term. But by not going after him for the perjury, for the act of these, releasing these memos, he doesn't look petty. The Democrats looked petty, trying to go after Papadopoulos, trying to go after Carter Page, General Flynn, process crimes, these nothing, absolutely nothing in the scope of things. So I think that President Trump is having Bill Barr and the DOJ go after these people for the serious crimes, because this way it's not going to look like it's a witch hunt on the Democrats, you know, as payback for the blockade that Comey and his cohorts put into place with, you know, all of the things that they've done to try and remove President Trump from office.
Well, we're definitely going to see, and I can't wait to see, because my balls are blue.
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
Ready. Real quick, I think we got a couple more hellos from the audience. Radar New Jersey said, Red Pill, now, yo, Red Pill, now we see you. You are wise for your age, and just like Frank, we need young wisdom to carry us forward. Thank you both. Stay safe and stay strong. Thank you for that. God's Guy said, please lift up TikTok in prayers and health and provisions. Vet needs prayers. Thank you. Yes, everyone, I said this last night, but please continue to keep TikTok in your prayers. Son of a Green Card said, and POTUS is at Camp David right now, not at Camp David right now, not at the White House. He's insulated. That's correct. Mona Shits and Giggles. Thank you for the super chat. Is that one of your viewers, Frank?
Who?
Mona Shits and Giggles.
Oh, I don't know.
It's
never.
You've got a lot of viewers with clever names like that, so
Could be, but there's a lot of clever people on there on the internet. So
it's very true. YouTube is a big place. All right, Frank. Well, thank you so much for joining us tonight, buddy. I wish we had the full 2 hours. I could have just kept going here.
Oh, well, you know, yeah. I think if we had another 15 minutes, we could have gotten to this really interesting dig, because I've been sitting on it for a couple of weeks. I was almost scared to do it alone, to be honest, because it's one of those things that got me thinking, and it already ties into two well-known suicides, quote unquote, at this point. Very good. Either way, one day, maybe soon.
Listen, if you've got time tomorrow, why don't we have a chat after, you know, offline from the show, and maybe we can flesh it out really, really well in advance of doing it on the air.
Certainly. And listen, have a fantastic evening. Everybody at home, thank you so much for welcoming me to your beautiful little shindig here tonight. And you let me know if you ever want me back again, my friend.
You're always welcome. I'd like to have you back on a regular basis.
Okay. All right. Well, hey, then I'll come back on a regular basis. Fine.
Perfect. Perfect. At least once a month. All right. Thank you so much, Frank. We'll talk to you soon, buddy.
Bye-bye, man.
Bye-bye.
Later.
All right, guys. So here we are. It's just us now, guys. I need to get my second guest on the phone. Give me just one moment. And let me see. I want to make sure there's no more thank yous. All right. So give me a moment, guys. I'm going to get Joanna on the phone here. Oh, thank you for hanging out with us, guys. I don't have a count for how many people we have watching. For some reason, it doesn't show me how many people we have watching. If somebody else could help me out with that and let us know how many viewers we have in the audience, I think that would be interesting to find out. Yeah, I don't know why it's not showing me today. That's so weird. Let's see. Joanna. Thank you very much for that super chat, Amy Dye. Also, Code Red Do Girl again. Thank you so much. Get the man a bag of ice. Frank. Oh, all right. Says, we've got about 2,900 people. That's great. Awesome. All right. So we're going to call Joanna right now. Joanna isn't online. Oh, good Lord, Joanna. Joanna, try this again. Well, okay, I don't know why Joanna is not available, guys. Well, that kind of throws a monkey wrench here. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to send out an invitation to Severe, and we'll get him on the show right now. So there we go. Invite. All right, guys. So it's just going to be freestyle. It's going to be us for a couple of minutes here. Let me just let Severe know. All right, sweet. So let's see. What do you guys think about the OIG report. I had a lot of people sending me angry text messages, angry messages in general. Here he is, SevereANON. Are you there, my friend?
Yo, what's happening, brother?
Hey, dude. Yeah, I went to call my my next
Can you
guest.
hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Good stuff. Severe, thank you very much for joining us here on the program once
Let me
again.
grab my headphones real quick.
Okay.
Give me 2 seconds.
All right, guys. Well, while Severe is getting his headphones situated, why don't I show you guys his YouTube channel? There we go. And then I'm going to drop a link to Severe's YouTube into the chat. That's right. Severe is going to be dropping some new... Oh, wow. 3,800? We really have 3,800 people? Let's see.
Okay, can you hear me, brother?
I can hear you, Severe. How are you, bud?
Very good. How are you, man?
I'm doing excellent. So it's been a couple of months since you've been on the show, dude. How you been?
Good. Busy. Super busy in the studio. Just trying to get out as much music as possible.
Awesome. I know that you've been doing the rounds on a lot of shows too, dude. You were on SGT Report not that long ago. Good for you.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, Sean's a great guy over there at SGT. We had spoken a couple of times, and yeah, he invited me to come onto his platform and, you know, kind of tell my story a little bit and talk about Red Pill music and a bunch of other stuff. So yeah, he's really good people. So yeah, definitely big shout out to Sean over at SGT.
Yeah, Sean's going to be coming on the show here before long. I'm really excited about that. He is a really good guy. I've been watching Sean for years, as I'm sure that you have. So to be in the position where, you know, he's going to be coming on my show, it's a bit of a fanboy moment for me. I respect Sean so much. He's really blazed a path, I think, on YouTube in terms of, you know, this truth medium that we're trying to push out there.
Oh, absolutely. I've been a big fan of his for a long time. He's always, you know, down to cover stuff that even, you know, years back that, you know, was considered fringe. That's now kind of, you know, part and parcel for what we deal with, you know, pretty much daily basis. But yeah, he's definitely a trendsetter. And yeah, it was kind of a fanboy moment for me also being on the show. It was kind of surreal because, you know, you watch someone and you respect their work for so long. And then it's like, wow, I'm really a part of this. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it's definitely a cool thing. You know, and so where Red Pill music is evolving a little bit since the last time you were on the show. Now I know that you now have at least one song that's available for sale if people want to support you.
Yeah, there's actually a total of 5 up there now. The first one was the one that I had sent you, which was Rainfall, the one you really liked.
Yeah.
And in that time, since I spoke to you, I guess what it was maybe about a month ago, we were talking about that song. I put another 4 up there. So yeah, it's building. The library's starting to build up there. And it's SevereANON.bandcamp.com.
Got it. I actually just pulled it up so people can see that. So I know a lot of people, last time you were on, people wanted to know if there was a way that they could support you. You guys, this is right here. This is an excellent way that people can support Severe. So you've got 5 songs on here: Force the Q, Vision, Patriot News Part 2, and Part 1 and 2, and then Rainfall. I've got your YouTube pulled up. Let's Muffin is whining, you guys. Sorry about that. Tell us about these new songs that you've written.
The Patriot News Part 1 and 2 was actually for the good people over at the Patriot News channel. Shout out to all of them. Yeah, the first one was kind of a little duet for them and Table of Titans. The second one is for their channel. So, you know, I hope that everyone enjoys those. It's been getting really good feedback. People have hit me up saying that they really enjoy their content also. And Vision and Force the Q. Vision was one that I just had an idea for a little while, and I came across the right beat, so it was the right time to put it out. Kind of just explaining where I'm coming from in terms of making Red Pill music and the transition from the kind of stuff that I was making at the time when I was signed to that record deal.
Yeah.
Kind of just the way that I've evolved from that point to what I'm doing now, and trying to do something, you know, for a bigger cause, for a better movement. So that is, you know, a song that kind of delves into that stuff. And Force the Q was actually an idea that was brought to me by my brother SevereANON on Twitter.
Oh,
Shout
yeah.
out to him. Yeah, he's a great dude, great patriot. And he had sent me a link over to a video that was done by Paine's Angels on Twitter. So yeah, if you want to pull that up and, you know, maybe share that, it's an excellent video. I have it somewhere up on my timeline because I had shared it. I really wanted people to see it. It's a really well done short video. It's not even 4 minutes. It's about 3.5 minutes, but excellent work. So yeah, big shout out to him. And SevereANON had reached out to me and said, you know, I'm a big voice in the movement, and, you know, I know a lot of people respect what you do. So, you know, any way that you can maybe do something together, you know, about that topic about the Q. And I said, yeah, absolutely. 2 days later, it was done, released, out there, ready to go.
Awesome. And I see that you've got some excellent graphics from our friend Bree. She's still pumping it out. Good stuff. Oh, you guys, I totally forgot. I got a special announcement after we watch a video from Severe here. So, well, let's get into that so I can get this ready. I think it'll be fun to do with you on the show. What do you want to listen to? Force the Q or Vision? What do you think?
I think we probably go with Vision. I think it'll be good for people that may not be aware of the kind of music that I make, or first-time listeners of mine and stuff like that. I think it's a good way to kind of open them up to what I'm doing. So, yeah, sure, that'd be great. And
okay.
Yeah, huge shout out to Bree for the graphics. She does absolutely amazing work. Big shout out to Space Shot for putting the video together. You know, the two of those guys are truly like family. So huge shout out to them. I truly appreciate everything they do for the movement. You as well. You know, everybody that is, you know, part of this team. It's, you know, huge shout out to all you guys.
Awesome. Okay, great. I'm going to pull that up, you guys. I saw some people asking if Muffin is not well. Muffin is fine. She just wants me to go get a bone. My daughter was supposed to hang out with her and take her for a walk while I was on air, and then she let her into the office. So I'm going to do that while I'm playing this song here. So right here, we got Vision from Severe. Let me go full screen and light it up.
It's your boy Severe, coming back at you again. Just want to take a minute to thank all my fans, my friends, my supporters, my family. Realize this is a battle of good versus evil. They want to silence the truth, but we're not gonna let them. You know why? Red Pill music. The name is Severe, thanks for checking out the track. I was signed to a record deal 7 years back. Gave up fame and fortune cause the patriot was black. I promise every word you hear me say it's a fact. I was signed, y'all, for real, I really had a record deal. Tore the contract to pieces when their plan was revealed. Used my gift from God for a cause that's satanic. They saw I wasn't down this when they all had a panic attack, cause they know I view the world as panoramic. In fact, the reaction they had was symptomatic of the industry at the time. They said I couldn't go. I already signed the paper, so they thought that I was zoned. They thought they controlled me, it was part of their design. I said, yeah, was a pedophile line and what I signed. Case closed. They didn't want no problems after that, but now they got one because I'm executing my attack. This is Red Pill music, come and join the coalition. I awaken your mind to make your own decision. Break misconceptions, I'm a poet if you listen. I give you what you need because I know what you're missing. Bring truth when I rhyme with my vocal disposition. Fans all across the map going global with addiction. Let go of inhibitions when I show an exhibition. I'm growing the commission when I'm focusing my vision. Let's talk about the way that I'm planning this attack. You didn't see me in the front cause I was scanning from the back. You try to steal the art I love, I got a plan to bring it back. I got a following of patriots and our fans of rap, but they love what I create. That's called Red Pill music. That's my own genre, now peep how I use it. To break the mind control techniques that they using. This is a culture war and I'm the voice of the movement. Put my life on the line, if I got it just to prove it. It's a war for your mind and I'll be damned if we lose it. Listen to the words I speak then, form your own conclusion. The world we live in is a fairy tale and an illusion. Listen to what your kids listen to is critical. They poison their minds with venom wrapped in a lyrical blanket of lies as an antithesis subliminal. Parents, take heed to this knowledge that I'm giving. This is red pill music. Come and join the coalition. I awaken your mind to make your own decision. Break misconceptions, I'm a poet if you listen. I give you what you need because I know what you're missing. Bring truth when I rhyme with my vocal disposition. Fans all across the map going global with addiction. Let go of inhibitions when I show an exhibition. I'm growing the commission when I'm focusing my vision. I'm like Morpheus, my purpose is to free your mind. I'm also Neo, I'm the one reconstructing the design. Breaking through the matrix is the only way to find true freedom from the shackles they use to confine us from our own destiny. So I stay on my grind even while they're testing me, cause we're running out of time. But have no fear, I'm never running out of rhymes. I could do this all day, it's my gift from the divine. So I use it to bring dark to light and let it shine. Ultraviolet white light, giving vision to the blind. I refuse to conform to the role I was assigned. I'm a free thinker that allows my thoughts to intertwine. It's a paradox, watch as I shift the paradigm. Call my own shot, thinking otherwise it's asinine. They try to warn me not to take a step past the line, but I've never been the type to give a damn about the sign. This is red pill music, come and join the coalition. I awaken your mind to make your own decision. Break misconceptions, I'm a poet if you listen. I give you what you need because I know what you're missing. Bring truth when I rhyme with my vocal disposition. Fans all across the map going global with addiction. Let go of inhibitions when I show an exhibition. I'm growing the commission when I'm focusing my vision.
Excellent, dude.
Hey, thank you, brother.
Yeah, no problem. Oh, let me stop the autoplay. Yeah, dude, that was great. The video itself was really well done. How long were you and Mike and Bree working on this for?
Well, Bree was working on the material as soon as she heard a copy of the song. So not much later, she had a bunch of ideas ready to go. Shot them over to Mike. Mike did his thing, and very quick process. Actually, they did an amazing job. Like, these guys are awesome.
Good stuff, dude. Good stuff. What else do you have in the pipeline? Are you like working to the point where you've got enough material to put out a full album? Are you getting there, or are you just kind of doing it piecemeal?
People have been asking about that a lot recently, and it's almost to the point. I mean, I've been doing it piecemeal, but it's very close to the point where I pretty much have a full album almost together with what I have in the pipeline with other artists and stuff going on right now, and other solo stuff that I'm working on. There's enough content to definitely put an album together. So people have been asking about that. I can't wait to get it to them. They are really enthusiastic about it, and I'm just as happy, to put it out there. So I've got incredible supporters. I just want to give a huge shout out to my family for always being so supportive. To my son, it's his birthday today, so huge shout out to him, and happy belated birthday to you as well. It's Virgo season, man.
It is Virgo season. Did you say it was your birthday too?
No, my son's birthday is today.
Oh, your son's birthday. Oh yeah, tell him I said happy birthday, dude.
Absolutely, most definitely will do. He's a huge fan of yours, so I'm sure he's listening right now as we speak.
That's super cool. I just remembered I am supposed to give another birthday shout out. A listener named Joseph Oman, his daughter Natalie Oman, her birthday was yesterday, and unfortunately they haven't seen each other for a while. He wanted me to make sure that I said happy birthday to her so that he can show her this the next time that he sees her. So happy birthday, Natalie. Virgos are awesome. August 30th is a great date. So I'm glad that Joseph was able to get a hold of me and I was able to do that for him. Space Shot said, we need a Red Pill MAGA album. I think that that's an excellent idea. I think we talked about this one time before, doing like an album, each song from a different artist, everybody doing their thing, putting it together. You could organize that.
Yeah, absolutely. There's actually another artist had reached out to me about the same concept. So we were taking ideas back and forth about it a couple of weeks back. I've been really busy since then. I know that he has also, but yeah, we're definitely all trying to get on the same page to make that happen, because honestly, it's not just about me whatsoever. There's so many talented artists out there that I want people to appreciate the way that I do. Some of them that I personally worked with, others I would love to work with. So getting a compilation or something like that together would be absolutely amazing. And I'd love to make that happen, be a part of that.
Sweet, dude. What's going on with your project with Jason and educating libs?
It's crazy the way that video was completely throttled and deboosted, whatever you want to call it. It caught fire the first 2-3 days that it was out. People were sharing it like crazy. And then all of a sudden the views just completely stopped on it. So
really completely.
It went from 0 to about 14,000, somewhere in that neighborhood in the first like 3 days. And it's gotten since that point maybe to 100 views. Crazy. Wow. I can show you the analytics of how it just completely stunted. So yeah, you can see that we were definitely hitting a chord with the right people with that one.
Man, that was a great song. Do you guys have any more any more songs you're working on? Or
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we have one that is somewhat secret. There's a special feature on there that people are not gonna know for making music, but they are gonna know exactly who this person is as soon as they hear them. So if that puts a little intrigue into it, that's awesome. That's what I'm trying to do. But you guys are gonna be pleasantly surprised by who we all three of us are working on the song together, and that fourth person that's going to be making an appearance. You guys are definitely going to want to see that.
Well, I know that I'm going to be waiting on pins and needles. And I just wanted to mention something here. Space Shot 76 making that comment. I've said this before, but I want to say it again. I owe Space Shot, and I am fully forever indebted to him, because when I started making videos, we were buddies, and he shared my video, and it helped me to take off in a way that I may not have been able to achieve without him, saying, people, go check out my buddy, Red Pill 78. Space Shot is one of the finest people that I have ever met. And I would have to say that almost universally, the people that we have, been brought together with here in this community, it's beyond compare. I mean, like the friends that I've made, the people that I've met, and the experiences that I've had in these short few years, man. It really, really, breaks my heart in a good way. A lot of times I think back on what's happened, and, not only Donald Trump saving the country, but the actions that have been taken, and the people that we have been brought together with here, Severe. It's the most amazing thing that I can possibly imagine.
Oh, I second that 1,000,000%. Starting from what you were saying about Space, I couldn't agree more. He's just one of the most genuine, awesome dudes out there. He's such a great patriot, always willing to help people out and try to share their work. I mean, it's, just a really selfless dude. So huge shout out to Space Shot, just really good people. Shout out to Bree, shout out to, everybody shout out to Q-Tips, you guys, you know what I mean? Methods, everybody out there, you guys all know who you are, and we love all of you. The community is just, it's crazy when you step back and look at the bigger picture of, people that if this was not happening would have never crossed paths, would have never been affiliated with each other, never would have met each other and appreciated each other's work, and just realized how awesome this movement is. So I mean, I feel that we're all truly blessed in our own ways, but collectively, just truly a blessing to be part of something like this. And it's amazing, and I'm just thankful that I can bring what I bring to the table, the way that you do, the way that everybody does. It's just, really awesome, amazing experience, once in a lifetime type of thing. And just being part of a collective of people that are just such genuine, kind, just great patriots. It's an awesome thing, man.
For sure. Most definitely. Well, that is leading me into the secret thing that I wanted to talk about. Space Shot just said, I've given hat tips to plenty of people who haven't taken off. You do a great job, brother. Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that, Space Shot. And speaking of the great work that Bree does, I have my own merch store that Bree helped me with. She designed all of the things in there. I'm going to do a t-shirt giveaway tonight. I want everybody who's watching to go to teespring.com/redpill78. And if everybody goes there, you can take a look at the t-shirts that are there. At the end of the show, I am going to choose someone from the chat. We're going to have people, I'm going to ask people to type in a number between, we'll do 1 and 1,000, okay? Because we're going to have several thousand people. Let's do 1 and 5,000, all right? And then I'm going to choose a random number between 1 and 5,000 at the end of the show. And if somebody chose it, I'm gonna give them a free T-shirt. And then you guys can get a hold of me via email, and I will go ahead and send it out to you guys for free. Severe, do you have any ideas that you're going to be doing merch or anything like that?
I would love to get that set up, actually. Yes. I'd like to kick it with Bree because everything she touches is just amazing. You know what I mean? Everything she puts her mind to and puts her designs to are just awesome. So when it's time for me to make that happen, she's already the one that I'm going to definitely be working with to make that happen. People have been asking, about basic stuff, t-shirts, hats, maybe things like that. So would love to see what we can make happen down the line, because all the stuff that she's done for you and for Mike and for True Reporting, I mean, just she's so heavy behind the scenes. You know what I mean? I don't think people realize. So huge hat to her. Her work is absolutely amazing. So yeah, definitely merch will be coming soon, and it'll be fire. You guys are gonna love the stuff that we come up with.
All right, and people in the chat were asking, what was the link to the store? I'm actually going to put it into the chat box. teespring.com/redpill78. Oops, I spelled it wrong. But yes, Bree does outstanding work. And I do just want to plug her a little bit here. She's available for you, for anybody out there, to help with their own personal projects. If somebody has a business, they need help with logo design, they need help with developing collateral for your business, any type of graphics or anything like that. If you want to get your own merch store up, or if you've got something that you want to publicize and start getting out there to the world, Bree is the one who you should definitely contact. She's available on Twitter, and I'm actually going to pull up her Twitter page right now, but it was Bree. You know what? Off the top of my head, I don't know what it is.
Bree Eves 1745.
There she is.
It's BRIEAVES 1745.
And for some reason, Twitter sent me to a random hashtag, BRI. There you are. Bree Eves 1745. Here, let's go ahead and take a look at her Twitter. So if you guys want to get a hold of her, then this is how you would do it. This is the best way. Bree Eves 1745. I'm also going to drop a link to her in the chat. Now I see people sending out numbers. You guys just wait till a little bit later in the show. All of these numbers will go away by the time that we get there. But tell you what, I know that you guys are honest, so I'm going to go ahead and just choose a number right now. Okay, I've got a number right now. Oh, yeah, I got the random number. It's already on the screen. So I have to go to a different screen here, and then we'll go ahead and choose it. All right, so I've got a new random number, and I want people to start putting in numbers into the chat right now. Put the numbers in the chat right now, and as soon as I see this number go by, we're going to go ahead and do it. I have one of my mods. Let me send this to one of my mods so they can be looking out for it. And let's see. Okay. All right, so I have sent that to one of my mods. I'm really hoping that this number comes by quickly. I didn't really think this out ahead of time. Let's see. Oh, this is great, dude. They're just flying. Severe, are you in the chat?
No. I can't see what's going on right now, but I can imagine you just have a flood of numbers going down your screen.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, man, I've seen several that are very close. Okay. Come on, guys. Come on. Show me the money. Show me the money. I hope you guys have a t-shirt picked out. We're going to do this once a month, guys. I'm going to give away a t-shirt once a month. Because I think that I would love to see you wearing a shirt with Red Pill 78 on it out in public. That's like always been like a secret wish for me. If I go out in public and I see somebody wearing a Red Pill 78 shirt, how awesome would that be?
It'll happen, man. We are the news now. You see how it spreads?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I would imagine it's the same type of thing for you. Like if you pull up at a stoplight and you hear somebody just banging one of your songs, or Venezuela.
Yeah, well, believe it or not, what was crazy, and I live in a very liberal area. It's insane how it's become over the past, I'd say 5 years or so, but it was never this way, but it's become that way very rapidly. Believe it or not, a couple of days ago, I was just walking down my street and I heard someone pumping one of my new songs. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I looked over and it was, I'd say she probably in her 60s. You know what I mean? Like just sitting there bopping her head to my music. Unbelievable. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. She had no idea who I was, no clue, just driving by listening. But yeah, it's funny, actually. So this stuff does spread between, you know, a lot of people, and it's at this point it's not even regional, it's just worldwide. I have fans that reach out to me that are truly from the other side of the globe. So yeah, it's amazing how far and wide this movement has spread. It's awesome.
That's incredible, dude. I'm not going to ask where you live, but you said it's a liberal ation. So, I mean, have you met people like in real life, like talking about stuff like this, about what's going on in the world?
When it's crazy because the only kind of demonstrations at all that you see around here, very small, very quiet, nothing crazy, nothing like you would see in like Portland or anything like that. But make no mistake, if you go outside wearing a MAGA hat, you probably won't make it more than, you know, a block or two without somebody approaching you having something to say. You know, like they feel that they are empowered to just look at people as, you know, imaginary Nazis and all this kind of stuff. It's crazy, man. And I'm in New York. I'm not down in the city anymore. I was born and raised in Manhattan and Brooklyn, but I don't live there anymore. I'm probably, you know, about 40 minutes outside the city, but it's still just as liberal as could possibly be. And it just gets exponentially worse. I mean, the city's just gone, you know, in a direction that I never thought I would see it. It's not the place that I was born and raised and grew up in. Not at all. You can't even recognize it anymore. De Blasio has done a number on that city like nobody's ever done before. So it's very sad. And you see these people that at this point are just they're useful idiots. They're pawns in a bigger plan that they don't even know that they're a part of.
You know, I've heard a lot of people, like Bill de Blasio was saying that Donald Trump is not welcome in New York City. Is it that bad?
It is, yeah. If you're in certain parts of the city especially, I mean, for the most part, all of it. But if you're right there smack in the middle of Manhattan where they used to love Trump, you know what I mean? He used to be loved in the city. He's a city guy. So to see what it's turned into where you can't even come out safely to say that you're a Trump supporter is kind of just, you know, scary. It shows how far the TDS has gone in people. It's really hit a level where, you know, the media has been weaponized to scare these people into believing all the stuff that they say. And it just couldn't be, you know, further from the truth. And the problem is that when you try to have a rational discussion with any of these people, they refuse to engage. Once they see that you're on the opposite side of the way that they think, they just completely disconnect. They discount you. You truly don't count to them. You're the enemy, and you know that's that. And it's really sad. That's why I try to reach people through music. It's a lot easier to grab someone's attention with something they realize that they like, and their heads are bobbing before they even realize what's being said. Then at least you have a little bit of a pathway in to maybe get through to them. But just, I mean, you see it, there's, you know, infinite clips on YouTube of people trying to have rational discussions with these people, and They just refuse. And you see other people grab them up and move them away and say, don't talk to them. It's just truly fascist mentality that they project on to people like me and people like you. It's a crazy upside down world that we live in.
Yeah, it is. It's the mirror world. All right, guys, go ahead and stop putting in numbers now. I realize that I need to do this in a different way because I definitely have a random 4-digit number, and I see many people putting in multiple numbers on different times. I see the same names going by with different numbers each time. So we're going to go ahead and stop there. And I'm just going to choose somebody at random through, 1 through 5,000 was the range because I was like, well, we're going to have, several thousand people punching in numbers. But I'm just going to, you guys just chat like normal. And tell you what, I'm going to pick like the best comment. How's that? Ben Schwagel said, President Trump not welcome in his homeland. Who else sounds like that? Think biblical. Oh, that's a good observation. Biblically, like the Jews and Moses, not welcome in the homeland. Moses had to lead the Jews out of their homeland and back. So President Trump not welcome in his homeland, New York City.
And it's absolutely true. It's a very good analogy. It's very similar to the way that it's become. These people have just completely turned their back on a man that's fighting for them. And they don't even realize it. They have no idea. They talk about, a dictatorship and this and that. These people truly don't realize that if they were living under a dictatorship, they wouldn't even be allowed to say the things that they say about this man. He lets them go, as far as they want to. I look at what was trending on Twitter. What was it? RIP45?
Yes, I saw that.
People praying for Mar-a-Lago to get hit and just their hatred for this man is so just completely out of control that they don't care if innocent people die as long as he gets affected. It's truly a sickness that these people have. It's crazy.
And Ben Schwalga said was actually thinking Jesus. Yeah, I mean, I think that it's allegorical. You can put it on multiple characters in the Bible, historical figures, shall I say. Yes, Jesus wasn't welcome. There were many different people that weren't. Let's see. So we've got a lot of people who are chatting in the chat box, and this is great. This is going to be very difficult, you guys. I just want to show off this shirt. This is one of them. Vape Lives Matter. Vape Lives Matter.
I haven't seen that one. That's awesome. Oh my God, I haven't seen that one. That's great.
This is it, you guys.
That's awesome, man.
This is so good. I am the news. That's right, guys. Okay, so let's see. We have a couple more thank yous. I actually didn't say thank you to last night. Chris Lieb, also thank you for that super chat. I did say thank you to Amy Dye, Ben Schwagel. That's great. So what do you got in store here, Severe? What's your next project that you're working on?
I think that we're pretty close to wrapping up the one that I was discussing earlier with Jason and Dylan from Educating Liberals, and that special guest feature that's going to be on there. I think that one will probably be the next one to drop. And I have another one that's in the works with Jason also. I would like to get Dylan involved again. He's just an awesome dude and just such a genuine guy, and he's fun to work with. And we come up with great ideas, the three of us. So we'd definitely like to see more stuff coming from us as a trio, and try to maybe get a couple of more guest features on there with people that people in the community would be familiar with. And I've also got another couple of tracks that I'm working on solo. Nothing really done yet, but they've been coming rapidly, so I don't expect it to slow down anytime soon. I love putting out content for people. The more they enjoy it, the more it motivates me to just keep going with it, and it's a chain reaction in the best kind of way. So thank you to everybody out there that supports me in the Red Pill music movement. You guys are instrumental in making it happen. So thank you for the support, and please go check out my Bandcamp. They are all the songs up there, I believe, are $2 each. You people are welcome to make any kind of donation that they want to. to help the movement, and you guys are just, so appreciated. Thank you, all of you.
Thank you. You know what, guys? I just realized that the address that I gave you was for Brian Herthmacher's Teespring. But here, I'm gonna put the address for the shop down there, so everybody can go take a look. It's teespring.com/stores/redpill78. So we're gonna take a look at the store while we're all here, so that you guys can check out these designs. So as you can see, there are regular t-shirts. We've got some tank tops. There's even phone cases. There are crew neck sweatshirts like I'm wearing. There's hoodies. What else is there? There's also stickers. You guys can get stickers. That is pretty awesome. There is a tote bag if you want to go to the grocery store and not use plastic bags. Save the environment. This one right here is one of my favorites with the triangle. I've got this coffee cup. You can also get coffee cup. There's also shirts with the dogs on them, Muffin and Chi-Chi. Got a couple of Donald Trump shirts, and I know that there are some new designs that are going to be coming out before too long. But yeah, so you guys just check that out and decide what you want. And you know what? I think I know who the winner is going to be. It's going to be Code Red Do Girl for the comment about Frank getting the ice. Get the ice. So Code Red Do Girl, congratulations. You are the winner of a t-shirt. So go ahead and take a look. You can DM me on Twitter. That is redpill78, twitter.com. And you guys can go ahead and get a hold of me there. I am so sorry. The dogs are freaking out, you guys. Let me ask my daughter if she can please take them back outside because... come get Muffin. All right, so congratulations, Code Red Do Girl. Severe, you want to just go through some stories in the news? My other guest, was unavailable when I tried to call her, so unfortunately I didn't have any specific material to go over, but I do have a couple of stories from today. Sure you saw what happened in Texas, right?
Buddy,
you're roboting. You're roboting.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you're still roboting. Did you move in your house or something?
Nope, I'm in the same spot.
You're back. Good stuff.
Okay. 5 by 5, guys.
Yep, 5 by 5. 5 by 5.
Yes.
Oh, somebody just asked how they buy your music, and if you want to buy Severe's music, you just go to is it SevereANON.com, SevereANON.bandcamp.com?
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna pull it up and give it to people. Oops. Discard. All right, so yeah, go ahead. You were going to mention what happened in Texas, the tragedy in Texas, and in Alabama as well.
No, I was saying I was going in and out all day. I was running around like crazy, so I didn't really get a chance to see the details, but I saw, the main idea of the story. Unbelievable, man. Absolutely unbelievable. Am I the only one that when something like this happens automatically has their attention going to one thing?
I immediately, as soon as it happened, the first one happened last night, and I was like, here they go. They must be trying to divert from something in the news. Obviously, I think this OIG report, it could be something else, I don't know if you heard the segment with Frank, but I was speculating because President Trump had, mentioned the coming storm when he was inaugurating the Space Force. Maybe, I thought, maybe President Trump is speaking to us when he's saying this information about the storm. He mentioned it on a couple of different occasions. So maybe they freaked out and they thought that something big was coming this weekend, not just a literal storm. So they had to put that out there. But it's way too coincidental, you've got this happens at a game in Mobile, Alabama. You got 10 injured in Mobile, Alabama. 6 people. Oh, I'm sorry. It says at least 6 people were injured, and then I think they upped the total to 10. Yep, at least 10 people at Lad.
That's what I heard.
Yeah, 10 people at a high school football game. And then, you have these 2 unrelated incidents in Texas, Midland and Midland and Odessa, Texas. And they happened both at the exact same time, but they say that, there's only one guy now. I mean, I saw footage of someone being taken down in a parking lot. Here it is right here. The footage from Kane and Crystal Cordova. It's really grainy. You really can't see anything, guys, so I'm not going to play it. But the shooter was, of course, a white male. A white male in his mid-30s. Another incel attack. Random incel attack. I'm sure you've heard recently that they want to take down Discord next.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, they're looking at, taking out any kind of way for anybody that's in the truth community to contact each other and share ideas. It's insane, man. Full on, just totalitarian, just takeover, just big tech coming in and just that's it, man. Trying to shut it down all the way around. If they can't just shadow ban us and censor us to death, they flat out just kill the platform.
Yep. I'm sure, based upon the person that is supposed to be the perpetrator, the one who's been shot, I'm betting that the other ones are probably in the same demographic. But it says police in Midland, Odessa, Texas, are on the hunt for multiple 3 shooters. They confirmed at 4:45 p.m. that one suspect is in custody and a second, possibly a third, is still on the loose, and they were driving a mail truck. Let's see, real quick. Tanette Booth said Jason was a Gentile, wants a shirt. I'm sure he does. I'll definitely hook him up. Dana Finkler said, hope you had a good birthday. Where we bark one, we bark all. Thank you very much for that, Dana. And Arizona Girl USA said, dox the dogs, show us the pups. You guys, Muffin's kind of fat, okay? It's going to be difficult for me to pick her up. But come here, Muffin. Come here. Come here. Come here. Ugh. Here she is. Here she is. I love you, Muffin. This is Muffin. Can you see her, Severe?
Oh, she's adorable, man.
Isn't
she?
She
really is, though. She's the cutest.
All she really wants is for her daddy to pay attention to her. She's, she's a very... Look, she's licking the microphone. She wants me to take her downstairs and get her a treat. She wants me to take her downstairs and get her a treat. Now, okay, so TikTok actually sent something over in relation to this Odessa, Texas stuff here, you guys.
Hey, shout out to TikTok. Awesome patriot.
Exactly. TikTok is a great guy. Hold on, let me get to my my messages here, and we'll pull that up. And then we're going to show TikTok's profile so you guys can go check him out. Now, this is from CBS 7. CBS 7, I believe they are a local outlet down there in Odessa, Midland area. Facebook post about Lubbock, Midland, Odessa, Walmart mass casualty incident is not true. So I think the question here is, why is the news there reporting that this is not true? I don't know. Are they referring to a supposedly different event? It says that the Midland and the Odessa police departments are letting the public know that a post circulating on social media about an alleged mass casualty event is a hoax. The following comes from the Odessa Police Department. Odessa Police Department was recently made aware of information being shared on social media sites about potentially armed persons being detained by the Lubbock Police Department prior to them heading to the Midland-Odessa area. We reached out within the law enforcement community with Lubbock Police Department and find that this information was not true. In fact, this was a hoax message spread to cause fear in our community. The Odessa Police Department wants to remind the public to be aware of their surroundings at all times. If you see something out of the ordinary that does not appear right, please call 911 to report the information. We strive on the public support in helping us stay aware of what is going on in the community. And this is right here from the police department. Midland Police has contacted Lubbock Police and Texas Rangers, and the social media posts of a armed individual at the Walmart in Midland cannot be sustained. So there's not enough information out about exactly where this took place. It sounded like there were several people who were in multiple cars driving around Texas. I know that at least one person stole a mail truck, and that is, I believe, the one with the video of the guy being taken out on the street. But you know, I don't know. Maybe TikTok can comment here in the chat. TikTok, was this the same incident, or was this being reported as an incident in addition to the Odessa Midland stuff that was going on? Oh, you guys want to see Chi Chi too? Come here, Chi Chi. Come here, buddy. Come here, buddy. Come here. Come here. Oh. He's a lot smaller, guys. Hi, buddy. This is Chi Chi.
Oh my God. It's so cute. Adorable, man.
He's really tired right now. So, like, normally he might be a little bit peppier, but right now he's tired. He was sleeping. I've got a couple of dog beds under my desk here. So usually they just go under there and sleep while I'm on the air or while I'm recording. But yes, good boy, Chi Chi. I love you. Okay, here, I can let him sit in my lap. I don't want to make Muffin jealous, but yes, there he goes. Yeah, say hi. Say hi. Go ahead, buddy. Go back to bed. Go back to bed. All right, so TikTok, I was looking to see if you were commenting on this. Anybody else live there? That was 2 weeks ago on my birthday. That was 2 weeks ago on his birthday. Okay, starting to come together now. Looks like they were setting up another incident in preparation. They put it out on social media, and then lo and behold, it comes to pass. Another, what do they call them? The preparedness. That was on the 15th. Yep, I see your message, TikTok. So this is one of those hallmarks that we see in these incidents. You know, they've got you know, like a disaster preparedness that they're doing. They need crisis actors in order to prepare. And now there is an actual event that takes place. I mean, how crazy is that?
Every single time. And I guarantee if you look up you know, Craigslist listings and stuff like that, you'll see ads for crisis actors around that same time. It fits the profile of every single one of these events that happens.
Well, what a good idea. Let's go ahead and search for crisis actors, Midland, Texas. Okay, so let's go back to this desktop. You know, the Goldwater, that is an outlet that I haven't seen much news from in a while. They're owned by, they are owned by 8chan. Well, the guy that owns 8chan. No thanks. Don't allow. I don't know if they've been publishing. Are you familiar with the Goldwater?
Not.
Last thing that they published, it looks like, was from the announcement from Jim Watkins. I'm sure you saw that, right? Jim Watkins talking in the wake of the last incident that we had that was blamed on an 8chan user.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, they have not been publishing. That's a shame. I used to follow them on a daily basis, but they haven't put anything out. Donnie Darko. Someone says watch Donnie Darko. Lots of Q coincidences. I actually own Donnie Darko. I've seen it on multiple occasions, but I have not watched it since the advent of the QAnon movement. Have you had a chance to watch that movie anytime recently, Severe?
I have not, but I know exactly what's being referenced. I've seen you know, clips that they take and cut-ups of the movie and how they just kind of drop it in, like, kind of throughout the whole movie. It's kind of crazy.
Really?
And yeah, if you have the movie, definitely rewatch it and keep an open eye for that stuff, and you'll catch a lot of stuff in there.
Well, let's see if I can find something about that. No, of course I'm searching, and nothing is coming up. Man, if anybody has you know, something that they can send me on DMs and Twitter, then I would love to pull that up. Let's go to Twitter. Let's go to Twitter and see if there is. We'll search for Donnie Darko and Q. You're breaking up again, brother.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's a little bit better.
Yeah, no, it's just the weather's pretty bad where I'm at right now, so the reception's a little bit iffy.
Oh, okay, okay. Oh, looks like Donnie Darko director Richard Kelly is going to be doing a biopic about Rod Serling, the Twilight Zone guy. That might be interesting. There's some profanity. All right, guys. Yeah, unfortunately, I would be very, very interested to see that. If somebody has access to, a clip that's been made with that information that you can send to me, I would love to watch it, and I would love to put it on the show because I love Donnie Darko. That's a great movie. One thing that I was talking with Frank about earlier, and I love to tell people about this, the Jaffe memo. Are you familiar with the Jaffe memo?
Yes.
Yeah, shocking document.
Yeah, I suggest anybody that's not familiar with that to definitely go check out. As much info as you can on that. That's a good rabbit hole to go down.
It is. I'm actually going to throw the link to that article that I pulled up on it in the chat, you guys, so that you can go ahead and grab that. And for some reason, YouTube won't allow me to hit return so that I can send it out there. I see we've got some people who have just started rewatching the rebroadcast of the show because someone just said they're from the Missouri Ozarks. So Fly Spec Cafe, when you get to the end of the second hour and you hear me saying hello, that's from the beginning of the show when you started watching it again. Oh, well, yeah, I did also want to talk about this, Severe. This is really good news. I'm sure you saw the mob violence that took place in Portland not that long ago.
Oh, all the weaponized, useful idiots out there. Yeah, it was crazy. That was a really bad one. It's intensifying. It's getting really bad, man.
Yeah, it's what's crazy about it is that the mayor, who is, I believe he's also like somehow working for the police department. I don't know the exact title that he holds, but he's basically supportive of this radical left-wing organization. But the district attorney's office is pursuing riot charges against 15 of these people. That's something that we have not seen in the past. At any time there's a rally, anytime there's a demonstration, you've got these people from the left coming out and causing real physical harm to people on the right. And they will even go after people who they perceive to be on the right, who may not be. There was an incident where a guy was, he was a Democrat, fairly left-leaning, but he had an American flag on his bicycle. And he was just happened to be driving by when there was a demonstration, and this pack of left-wing rioters came after him, and they just beat the snot out of him. Pretty rude awakening, for someone who is on the left. I think it's one of those things that can, push people over the edge, from the center over to the right when they realize that. These guys are not good people. They're hoisted up by CNN and MSNBC as, anti-fascists. And in fact, they are the real fascists. They are the people who are trying to determine, how we think, how we act, the things we say.
Oh, it's absolutely true. You couldn't be any more spot on. It's complete projection and inversion. All they talk about, is fighting against fascists when the only fascists at these places are them. And the problem is that they become weaponized to go fight imaginary people that don't exist. And when they go to these rallies and those people aren't there, they literally attack their own. They don't care. They're just looking for a fight. They're looking for a problem. They're looking for a way to engage in that mob mentality. It's all that they have.
Yeah.
And minus that, these people are just weak, self-hating people. It's really sad to see the way that, and they take that small minority of people and blow it up to look like some kind of majority that's out there in the world, and it's just not the case. But just even to see that small sect of people, which however is growing, to see the way that they have just truly been brainwashed to believe in a reality that just doesn't exist. It's
Right.
a figment of their imagination that they're fighting against.
It's scary, you know. I mean, like I was talking with Frank in the first hour, before Donald Trump came into office, you know, America was sliding into territory that we were not going to be able to come back out of. But now, you know, we have people out there willing to speak the truth, willing to fight back against people like this that you see on the screen. Look at this guy's shirt, beta cuck for life. Not something you want to be proud of, in my opinion. Not a beta cuck. Not a beta cuck.
No, it's what they've been turned into, and turned. You know, they embrace it. They see it as I don't know, something positive. Something. These people are just so warped and just out there, man. Out there. I can't see what you have on screen. But I've seen the exact picture that you're talking about. It's insane.
It's hilarious. I absolutely love it. All right. Well, Severe, I want to thank you for joining me tonight in the second hour and for being able to be here the whole time. I know that we hadn't planned on that, so I really do appreciate it. But what do you want to leave the audience with? You know, we definitely want people to follow you on Twitter. We want people to subscribe on YouTube so they don't miss any of your music. We want people to support you by purchasing your songs through Bandcamp. Take it away.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you as always for having me. And I love being on Extra Time with you, man. It's always a good time when we get to chop it up and kick it with each other. So, you know, I'm always happy to be a part of it. Thank you for having me. Anyone that wants to contact me or, you know, hit me up about anything, you know, whatever, music related, just, you know, messages of support. I get them all the time, and you guys are awesome. I appreciate each and every one of you. But on Twitter, it's at SevereANON. My music is available at SevereANON.bandcamp.com. My YouTube channel is youtube.com/TheRealSpear. And, you know, all those places are where you can find everything that I have available right now, and make sure to you know, keep in tune about stuff that's going to be coming in the very near future. Work with Jason is coming very soon, and also with Dylan. Solo projects, some secret stuff that I can't talk about just yet, but big things are in the making, hopefully, and, you know, keep your fingers crossed. But yeah, there might be some major moves happening very soon. So looking forward to that. And again, thank you to my amazing wife for supporting me. Without her support, I truly wouldn't be making music again. I stopped for a long time, and she is the reason that I decided to step back out and make my voice heard. So as always, thank you to her. Again, happy birthday to my son. And thank you to all you guys out there for your support. It's just amazing, and it keeps me going. And, you know, I'm never going to be silenced. They throttle me, they shadow ban me, but they can't silence me. So I will always speak to you guys through music, and I look forward to putting out more for you guys to enjoy.
All right, brother. Well, you're doing God's work. I want to thank you for everything that you've done. You just reaching people through music is one of the most important things that we can do, because pop culture, you know, I mean, it is a direct line into people's brains, and to, you know, to help change someone's way of thinking. You know, the cabal has known that for years, and that's why they have used it to such great effect. All right, guys, I want to thank everyone for joining us tonight. Thanks again to Severe. Thanks again to Quite Frankly. Code Red Do Girl, make sure that you message me on Twitter, and I'll get you a free t-shirt of your choice. And then everybody else, make sure you're taking a look, because we will be doing another one of these next month. So, as always, this has been Red Pill 78. I am the Corruption Detector, and this is your Red Pill News. Good luck, everyone, and God bless.